Evening, good morning, good afternoon, petting at folks. Your man always Joy Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bobby Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, can you believe it? We got at least a few more days till Christmas. God, you think about it. You seem like 2024 just started, and I said this the other day, and now we're almost just a few weeks away to a new year, and just about 9 more days to Christmas. And also, a particular lady who I'm a fan of, her birthday is this week. And you know who I'm talking about, guys. You know who I'm a fan of. And yeah, it's the lovely Miss Andrea Shaw. Oh. And this will be her 41st birthday. Damn! 40 doesn't look so good. Damn, man. I mean, so I will do a video, post some stuff for her birthday because I'm a fan and I think she's a beautiful lady. So, folks, with the holidays coming up, when it's the one thing that's really tough for a bodybuilder is getting ready, prep, everything that's involved with being a bodybuilder. And the time you got put into it. It's a lot of work, and especially the holidays, a time when you spend time with your family and closest to you. And also it can be, I think, one of those things that really can really be mentally a lot for a bodybuilder, especially if you don't have those connections or that support or that family unit stand by behind you, especially as a competitor. We have your comment, my man. Award 2000 says, "Okay, George, put away your lotion and tissues." Oh, it's already put away, brother. You just nowhere to hear me. So, also, calm down. Now I know Andrea is hot as hell. Yes, she is. I mean, she's a beautiful lady. And that's one thing I keep pointing out. This is a beautiful woman, and maybe she not be the standard to what you consider beauty, but to me, I think she's lovely. And like I said, and this is from coming from a guy who worked in strip clubs, who worked in textiles with women, for 13, 14 years. I've been around women a lot. Was never good with talking with women. Maybe now that I'm older, I'm a little bit more, but still, sometimes you have to be. But anyway, often I find some discussions we have some of these ladies that the holidays can be the toughest time for them as a competitor, especially you had a busy season, prepping for shows, getting ready, training. I mean, there's so much involved in it. And, it's just a tough life for any bodybuilder, be it man or woman. As you know, just got finished with the uh, Nationals, which was over the weekend. And we picked some new pros. If you saw my yesterday where I did my little commentary with Eunice, also, Eunice, Bev, also David and Jeremy. And we talked about that. We had to pick up some new pros, and we wish y'all the best of luck, these new pros. Also, I saw this was also we picked up another pro in physique. This is overseas. And it's a young lady. Her name is Barbara Vetsid. I want to pronounce her name wrong. She's originally from Hungary. She's from Hungary, and she's Hungarian. She's from Hungary, and she just turned pro. She did a couple of pro qualifiers, some regional shows this year. Two of those pro qualifiers, she didn't get a pro card. She did one in Austria, got a pro card. She just did an interview just today with the Female Bobby channel. I posted something. You can go check out my IG. I posted something to say congratulations. I think she's a impressive young lady, impressive body. You know, um, she has a good future. She wants to get into bodybuilding, but right now I think it's best for her to try to work up her way into it because she's only 25 years old. And at 25, you're still young and developing. So we have a comment here from a man says, a warrior says, and like I reacted yesterday on the live stream. Sherry Priami is smoking too. Yeah. Sherry is, she's smoking. And also, this says is Brittany Parrish competing this year? Don't know. Like I said, I haven't been in contact with her much lately, and she might because she remember she got her pro card. It was in 2022. It was 2022, and then she was hit with some medical issues that put her out for most of 2023. I think it was 2023 you got a pro card. Yeah, I think it was 2023 you got a pro card. And now she's doing a little better. She's getting in shape. You just saw you were there yesterday, Warrior, where Eunice talked about how she met her. Really, amazing development. We might get to see her compete this year, next year. Also, he says this. He says, Barbie the Tiger is I call her. Yeah, that's what they call her. And also he says, beautiful woman and her hot accent. Yeah, yeah. I know I think she's, young lady, like I said, just 25. Impressive physique. She could possibly, like I said again, right now I think she has a good chance in most definitely figure because she has the aesthetics. She's not too big, she's not too small. She could do well. She's also thinking about, I said again earlier, dipping into women's bodybuilding also. So, you know, so usually I have my usual guests. My big brother. He was here for a minute ago, but something happened. He might be just getting home now. So let us get a minute. He'll pop in. Also, KLA. I sent one to him, and also Jeremy. So if they're available, because I know this is the time of year. It's so close to Christmas. People are busy, and I know usually I try to have guests on here, who might want to jump on, but but you have me. So that's good. So while we're here, we're going to review again the list for the 2025 season. Here we got here it's again, man. This is good. It says, Brie Paris is a Wonder Woman would beat Gal Gadot ass in a fictional fight, comic book style. It says, yeah, and I see why Brittany calls her the real Wonder Woman. Yeah, that's a cool name. But while we're here, we're going to do a little review of the list for the upcoming 2025 season. Still has some updates here and there. I think there's some shows that still are waiting on to get the official, official registered. I remember Jeremy said that he reached out to one of the promoters for the site earlier. I think for saying that try to reach out to the what's the face, the guy who runs the Vancouver Pro Island show. He's already on the list. We just got a guest here. Just somebody just popped in. Give me a minute, folks. And I just heard him pop in. And here he is.
I saw
What up?
What up? What up? What up? Yeah, yeah. He's on the road again. I
Always on the
can't help
move.
you on the road again.
Always on the move.
Yeah. How you doing?
Good. How are you, bro?
I'm fine. I'm fine. Merry Christmas.
I know.
Yeah. It's getting close, isn't it?
Ah, can't wait for it to be over with already.
Yeah, yeah. We got here coming from man War 2000. He says, Big Heat, what's happening, my brother? Yeah, thank you, brother. And
What up?
also, anyway, for today, we're going to do a little discussion. First off, we're going to talk about, I did this yesterday, but Keith's here, and being he's Ivy Pro, like a couple of one ladies we had before, we're going to look over the list for 2025. As still, I think they still have some shows that are not there yet, but there are some shows that this year is adding women's bodybuilding, and I think we mentioned that earlier. And here we can put this here. Now we have here this list of men's divisions, and right now it's pretty much on top of the list. You had All Soldier Classic, and there's also Pittsburgh Pro. There's one in New York, also Chicago, Europa, Tampa, Texas, Tupelo, the Master Championships, even the Florida Pro at a men's bodybuilding. Still do not have the Olympia, the Masters Olympia, and some other shows on here yet. So my guess, I feel like they might be still waiting on those promoters to turn in the paperwork.
I think they're waiting on dates for some reason.
Yeah, yeah, it could be it. And and we'll go here and review the women's bodybuilding list. And right at the top, we have here is the Triple O Dynasty. There's no Triple O. It is the first show. It's going to be April. And it's Masters Open. This year, we're going to have women's physique. It's going to have women's bodybuilding and figure. Both Masters are open. Was on the list before, but now on the list this time is the Vancouver Island show. That's April 19th. Then New York Pro. That's May. Then we don't see another show till June. That is the Toronto Super Show. In July, we have the Chicago Pro. Then the end of July, 1st of August, you have Tampa. Then, as I saw this, Texas Pro has added women's bodybuilding. That is big news, especially competitors that aren't west, that's close to Texas. This is a great opportunity for them. Then you have the Linda Murray Show. Then you have Tupelo Pro. Now, here's the thing about Tupelo. It says Masters Women's Bodybuilding, but don't say Open. So I don't know if they. Now, here's the thing about this show. It's on August the 8th and the 9th, the same weekend as the Texas Pro. So either the promoters got to change that, or they're going to stick with that because they do. They're going to beat with the Texas Pro. And you have the Pro Masters, you have Rising Phoenix, and you have the Bean Weeder Natural Pro. And the thing with that one is natural bodybuilders. You know, especially they even have it for men's open.
Yeah.
Now, what would that look like? You got to think about it. Natural bodybuilders are a totally different look compared to the more enhanced bodybuilders. I mean, especially for women.
It's clearly be a different look, and so we'll know the comparison between natural and enhanced. Let's just say that, and they get a qualification to the Olympia, so it'll be interesting.
Well, I'm hearing it may not be a qualification because I saw something posted about the Female Body Channel. It may not be for women's bodybuilding. It is for women's physique, because it just had a lady who just got a qualification for next year Olympia at that show. It was like a few months ago, and I interviewed a lady who just got her qualification at that show. She's a fitness competitor, but it's gonna be like the one thing I think. I don't know if your wife be interested. You're in Kansas, right?
What'd you say?
You're in Kansas, right?
I'm in Kansas. Yep.
Yeah. Now there's Tupelo Pro. If Tina's hearing, that's kind of close. I don't know if it's going to have open, but also there's the Texas Pro. Have y'all been talking about? Because I know y'all been talking about some shows you want to do. So would that be a show possibility for your wife?
Nope. We already have a plan in motion, and you kind of it's your fault. It's your fault because you the one that said that you guys should do a show together. So the show.
No, when did I tell y'all to do a show together?
Is that what George said?
Yes, you did.
You did.
No good woman.
So Chicago and Tampa.
But I made if I for the Rising Phoenix World Championships, I won't do Tampa.
And if she gets picked for the Rising Phoenix World Championships, she won't do Tampa.
That would be 3 shows in 4 weeks.
That would be 3 shows in 4 weeks. Because if you look at Chicago and the Tampa, it's like 2 weeks apart from each other.
And then the Rising Phoenix is like 2 weeks after the.
And then the Rising Phoenix is 2 weeks after the Tampa.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. I understand, you know. And I know you already qualified for the Masters Olympia.
Yeah.
And they hadn't pushed that up yet. I know no date was on the schedule yet. So, you know, I don't know what's going on with it, you know. I think somebody told me this that they just had the nationals just this past weekend.
Yeah,
supposed
this
to have a
weekend
meeting.
in Dallas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they're supposed to have a meeting after that, so they can go ahead and just finally settle the shows and the dates. Like I said again, the Olympians are on here. I think there's one big
because you know what happens is if you win the Master Olympia, you get a qualification to the Olympia as well. Mm-hmm. So that's why they're trying to figure that all out.
I think might would just do it in October like they did the last time.
Yeah, so I thought.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Unless they're going to try to do it like maybe end of September, 1st of October. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. And we have a comment here from my man Warrior says, uh, Tina, if you can hear me, how are you doing? Yeah.
Said Tina, if you can hear me, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Just starting
Doing.
our off-season prep.
Yeah. All righty. And also, Warrior says, I know this is random and wishful thinking, but I would love to see Alina Popa come back and compete
What?
next year. I know it's unlikely, but hey, man, it's over.
Yes.
She's it's
There's
over.
too many
She's
irons in the fire on the promotion side of things.
yeah.
So
Come, I can feel your feeling, brothers. I would love to see a couple ladies who you're a fan of come back, but that's their lives. They have moved on. They have done that. But anyway, the talk is mostly about is holiday seasons, and I think sometimes it's tough for a competitor this time of year. You worked all the year long, you train, you prep, and then now it starts to wind down. You really don't maybe. What would you say as a competitor is the hardest part, especially around this time of year?
you know, actually, for me, it's not hard because I don't put a lot of thought into food. I've never been one of those persons, and neither is Tina. For one, she hates. Here's the thing with Tina, she hates turkey, but she'll eat turkey bacon, turkey sausage, sliced turkey, but she hates turkey. Makes no sense whatsoever, right? So we have to make Tina prime rib for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Um, we're like, I've never been an overindulger or anything, so like I've never been a really sweets guy or anything. So you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas is just a lot of work. When you think about it, it's just exhausting. The shopping, the cooking, and now this year I get designated to cooking the Christmas dinner. So I'm like,
Exhausting work-wise for me.
it's just in Tina's. It's just exhausting work-wise for her. 14-hour days with all the Christmas parties and all the other crap. So it's just busy for both of us. It's just nuts.
Mhm. Yeah, it's tough, especially so many responsibilities. You all got kids and your families, you got your jobs, and then Tina right now she's prepping for next year. You're
Yep.
you're you're prepping for
Yep.
Masters Olympia, and it can be discouraging. I mean, especially the mental fact of it.
Yeah, it's like we said, it's like we just started our off-season prep, like literally like Monday last week, and so it's already going good. I'm sore as shit from Melanie's workouts already. My ass, like every time I sit down, I think of Melanie and want to.
I know why I look bad.
And now I know why Tina looks the way you do because Melanie is bringing me all the way into the show this year. Last year I did my training and she did my supplementation and my food, but she's doing everything this year. And man, I understand why Tina felt the way she did some days. And it's not like I don't train hard, but it's just different. So I mean, we're in the beginning, so it's kind of nice that we're in the beginning, so you can have a day to eat and indulge a little bit, which we don't do much of as it is. But everybody's different. Some people like the Christmas cookies and all the shit. And I'm just like, let's see. Even Thanksgiving. I'm not a very very big Thanksgiving person. I love to cook. I just don't. For my big ass, I don't eat very much. I'm a very finicky eater. My trainers all tell you that. But everybody's different. Like Tina, now that girl, she can eat.
Hey, I'm a fat girl in a fit body.
She's a fat girl in a fit body.
My motto.
That's her mentality. She's a fat girl in a fit body.
Yeah, well, I'm a fat man in a fat body. I'm just gonna tell you that. There's no doubt. Like I said, I can say with Tina, I'm not much for turkey either. I can eat some of it. I'm not a big turkey person. I'm kind of like this. I like peach cobbler, but I don't like peaches. That's kind of.
That makes no sense. You said that during Thanksgiving. That makes no sense whatsoever. I
I
like
think
peach cobbler, but I don't like peaches.
Like liking ketchup, but not liking tomatoes.
Well, she says she's like it's like not, she goes it's not liking tomatoes, but you like ketchup.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
That makes
yeah,
total sense.
That makes sense, I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah, carrot cake, like I said, I'm not much for tomatoes. Even though it's technically a fruit, not a vegetable, folks. It's a fruit. The seed, soft skin. That's the. But yeah, I know it's tough. With the social pressures of being around people, and the thing with food is, food is both a weapon and a tool for a bodybuilder, and
Yeah.
also the stress of, you know, just because right now what y'all been doing, and y'all been helping your friend Gibb, and I want to shout that out. This is a guy they met a while back, and they're helping him. And y'all are generally good people. I mean, doing this for
He was
somebody you
about to do
barely
his
know.
laundry.
Yeah, yeah, I can tell you, it's good to have help. And I think one thing we need, especially when going through this time, because holidays sometimes can really bring, because it will be long for New Year's, and then there's that one holiday. It's a holiday for suckers, Valentine's Day. I call it a holiday for suckers.
That's funny.
Yeah. Hmm?
Tina says she calls it Mistress Day.
That's
That's like how the mistresses get something from their married that are married.
Well, here's the thing about this, which the kids get out, because I gotta be choosing my words about children. But here's the thing, like this, it's a holiday that's about money. Yeah, it really is. And I know, it's about buying a card and flowers, and we guys do all the work. What we get
Yeah.
out of it, the same thing we get 365 days a year.
The big piece
Or
of chicken, that's it. Bullshit.
that's the big piece of chicken.
That's
I,
it.
yeah, it's really a holiday for women. I say it like this: it's a woman's holiday. For us guys, don't need much. Guys, we'll need much, just for you to be nice to us and tell us you love us, and tell us we're your man, we support you, yada yada. But all that love stuff, you keep that to yourself. I don't need your love. We wouldn't mind having some loving, but that's another thing. Yeah. Hello. But yeah, we often see like this.
Nope.
I think a lot of people can really use help, especially competitors. And I would say one aspects of being a bodybuilder and dealing with things like holidays and social gatherings, it's so much to it. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a bodybuilder, I'm just a regular dude. And I know you've been in this world for as long as you have, and competed with people and know people. You ever sometimes ever sit down with somebody and say, man, it's just so tough.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have a lot of clients. I train people too, so I have a lot of people. And I actually, the weird thing is, we were just talking about this today. I go, do you understand how many people don't get to eat at all? So when you're sitting there saying, oh, there are no carbs and all this shit, I said, there's kids in Africa and other places that don't even get to eat at all in a day. I went at times in my life um, where I didn't eat, for you know a day or two. So it's one of those things where it's food is food is a mindset, in my opinion. So I have to mentally. Chad Nichols used to say about Flex Wheeler that he used to have to like play mind games with Flex as far as food was concerned. So that's how crazy it was. You know what I'm saying? So all these as much as people think we're these very disciplined athletes, which we are to a certain extent. Some athletes and some clients that you have uh, have to be mind effed and convinced of what they need to do in order to be successful, and that's just part of the game. Because dieting is hard. I tell my clients, try to get through the holidays, and then once we get through the holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving, then we'll start your diet back up, which a lot of my clients just got done with shows. So I said there's off season. I think first shows coming up are in May, and then so after Christmas we get back to the grind. And they're like, all right, bet we can do that. So everybody's different though.
Yeah. Oh, we have here a comment from my man Warrior. He says, I don't pig out and splurge crazy so much on the holidays. I keep it together. Yeah, it's tough part. Yeah, especially. He also says, only thing sweet I eat are Christmas cookies or snickerdoodles with eggnog. I can tell you right now, like I said
I've never
again,
been
I
an
lived.
eggnog person.
I never been either too. I never even drunk the stuff. Never even touched it. Never bought it. We
No.
never. we're coming up. We never had that. It was never our thing. I don't, I, I don't
No.
like eggs. So anything that says eggs in it says I don't like it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just. I mean, I know Tina probably had some.
Yeah. Did you hear George talking about you and Gibbs?
What
Yeah,
up?
I say I know you had eggnog. You're eggnog person.
Yeah, it gets really old.
Hmm. Yeah, but
But,
mhm,
I can honestly tell you that Gib being in my life, he's done a lot for me. And I say that on a standpoint of being out of a normal range when you're around in public and people viewing you in certain ways because of your stigma of how you look and how you are and your persona. When I walk into Gibbs' house, I know so many people look at him in such a negative light because he lives in such poverty. And when I mean poverty, no running water. And I'm working on getting his water turned back on now. But it really, really makes me mad when I realize the light that they put on him is sometimes the light that they put on us, but in a different manner. And there is just no reason for it. I had to call the EMTs the other day, and even one of the EMTs, he turned around and looked at me and said, "Why are we even here?" And I said, "Because he had a seizure." Oh, I mean, he literally looked at that house like, well, this isn't a guy worth saving, so why are we wasting our time? And I literally got in the car and I broke down because I'm like, this is not how we treat people. And so Gib has really refreshed me on just reminding myself that, you know, there are good people out there and there are people that need to be helped. And when people look at me every day and they may have a certain mindset about how I look or who I am because they don't know me, I can look at Gib and know that everything that I do on a daily basis, he truly appreciates. And I just put his laundry in our wash, and I'm gonna fold them and take them back and get more. And I do what I can for him, but he's been a good piece of life for me in that aspect because a lot of people take that away from me every day. But Gib always gives me a hug and he always reminds me that, I appreciate you. So I don't know. Every now and then you find that person in your life and it's not somebody you would expect it to be. And Gib is that person for me. So it's been awesome. So
yeah, that's good. That this person makes you feel like more human, where other
absolutely.
people make you feel less than that because you're a woman with muscle
Right.
and you offend their senses and ideology of what women should be. But
Right.
Tina, I've known you for quite some time now. You are a genuinely loving person. You've been through hell and high water in your life. Some losses that could maybe break anybody, but you're standing strong. And you got that big goof married to you, supporting you. You
Right.
got your loving kids, and you got your life and your career. And I think around this time of year, this is why people said you should be thankful for that. Some people may not have. I can tell you, when I grew up, we had a house without one water. We had a pump and an outhouse, and we lived out in the country. And my mother and father were broken up, so we were with my mom. There was like counting my six brothers and sisters and two nieces and nephews. There was like almost 10 of us in one house, and we can tell you, it was a struggle, but we all chipped together and we survived. Even though the number's not as big as it used to be, like I said, mom's gone, my
And
dad's
Jack.
gone, you
So,
know, but it's good when
oh,
good people
wow.
like yourself, especially, come to somebody's life like Gibbs, and that was a blessing for him and a blessing for you.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
and also the aspect, especially for a woman in the sport, it's tough this time of year, getting ready. Right now you're prepping, you're training, you're getting ready. You got your husband cooking dinner, and when there's so much involved to be a bodybuilder, especially just in the regular world.
yeah, no, absolutely. And like I said, I've been averaging at least 3 shifts over 14 hours in a 5 day period. So you're looking at, 80, I don't know, 40, 60, 80, almost 90 hours in a 5 day week for me. And, I just came off of a 14-hour day yesterday and I still got up and trained. I mean, I'm exhausted, but it's the industry that I'm in. And, It's the bar, and it's the holiday season and parties and people and dealing with the highs and lows of that and the anxiety that goes into running the business. It's a lot. But it's like we all look at each other by about this time, and Larry, one of the owners, and I looked at each other and we were like, is it almost over? Because you just get to that point where it's just exhausting. And my feet are killing me, but hey, you know what? I got up, I trained, I still got everything done, and I'm still eating my food. So just keep on it trucking.
Well, tell your man to rub your feet. That's what you're supposed to do. That's the
Hey,
point for being.
wait, right here. Rub my feet, I think. Yeah,
Rub, rub her-
you did rub my feet.
What?
Rub my feet.
I did rub her feet. Thank you.
Okay. All
So,
right. But that's good. I know it's tough. Because I've been through it myself. I didn't have the luxury of raising children like y'all have.
mhm.
And I did have responsibilities in my family. I had to play my part, play my role.
Yeah.
And I know the just trying to live life.
Yeah.
It's tough for anybody. But I think it's a lot tougher for y'all than most everyday people.
Well, and that's like I told people. I said yesterday. Here's a prime example. Yesterday, got to wake up at 8 o'clock, get to the gym by 9, get back to the gym, go to the store, get back, get the kids food, take Kansas to a basketball game because we have season tickets for the KU women's basketball because my daughter's a basketball player. Leave the basketball game, drop Keaton off at the bar with Tina because I have to train a couple people at Planet Fitness. Go to Planet Fitness right after the basketball game after drop Keaton off, train 2 clients, then come back to my bar about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and have another event that I do every Sunday, and then my night ends about 1:30 in the morning. So, and that's just my day. And Tina, like she said, she does 14-hour days. So it's a lot that we balance, but I mean, it's something that we have kind of mastered to a certain degree. It's exhausting. Mondays and Tuesdays are down days from doing things besides training. Today we had to go buy the kids Christmas clothes to go see Santa. And now Tina's on her way out the door after you just got to talk to her to take Kansas to training. So it's a busy day. I mean, and some people, have the luxury of not having to deal with all the things, but sometimes the chaos creates balance in our life.
Yeah.
So,
My other guy, he loves chaos and anarchy. He just he loves
yes, yes, yes,
it.
yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, you got to find a bit of balance, especially in this world. Do what you love, but also understand that there's some things you might have to do that you may not love.
Exactly.
And I know dealing with people, which you have, both of y'all, deal with people on a daily basis. I don't deal with too much with people because most of the time I'm home. I don't really go in with this today. I just went out to, check my mailbox and pick up some things. Big bro, I left my keys in the door of the mailbox.
Oh shit.
But my sister, she was going out, and I told her, "Hey, you think you can pick it up for me and bring it back?" She said she did because I didn't want to, because I didn't want to go walk all the way up there and then come back, and
Yeah.
especially my knees too bad, like just too bad set of knees here. The other was the end of the week, I went to see my cardiologist. Everything's good.
Excellent.
I got 2 more years left on my battery. All connections are good. The doctor wasn't there because he had an emergency, so I have to maybe go back and see him. And just go through over things. When he gets back, probably after the holidays. And also, I had this eye test because I'm pre-diabetic.
Yep.
No neuropathy, nothing wrong with my eye. Just that I'm getting
Nice.
older and I need glasses because everything's getting a little farce.
Tell me about it, brother. Tell me
Yeah,
what's
I mean,
happening.
it wakes up on you, sneaks up on you.
Yeah.
We can become old men. We used to run like all day, all night long, and
Yeah.
then you get home and get into bed. I don't want to go nowhere. I don't want to go nowhere. But you don't have that
Yeah.
option.
Exactly. Age
Yeah,
is a son of a gun, but like I tell people, I say, it's like Gibbs told Tina, he never turns anybody down, and now we're having to change his mindset because his words was like, you never know who Jesus is when he comes to your door. And it's one of those things where all the cops and all the people in this town who knows Gibbs has told us this guy is just a good person, people just take advantage of him. But now he has me and Tina in his life, so we're trying to eliminate that from that happening, and get him surrounded by some very good people who actually has his genuine interest at heart, and I think he's now seeing that. Like I told somebody, I said, I can't imagine, not bathing for 4 months. I can't imagine that, so the first time he had told me that, I'm like, you come in and take, me and Tina We all have our own bathrooms in our house. And I was like, he came in the first time, he took a shower. The second time he came over and he's like, because his feet are really bad with neuropathy. I said, he's like, it's all right if I take a bath. And then when the crazy thing is the first time he took a shower, he came out and looked like a whole different man. I gave him some clothes that I had that I don't wear, sweats and t-shirts and stuff that I didn't wear. And he was just so grateful, but like I told him, I said, I can't imagine being a man that can't bathe on a regular basis, shower or take a bath. And, he's just so grateful. And the reason why I like this guy so much is just because he never asked for anything. From day one that we met him, he's never asked. Tina, I don't know if she told you a story. One day, like 1:30 in the morning, she was driving home from the bar, and this guy was like hobbling to get home, and he's leaning against this pole, and and uh, and she's like something just wasn't right. So she pulls over and asks him if you're all right. He goes, I'm just trying to get home from Dollar General, which is a little bit of a ways from where he lives. And Gibbs just turned 75, so she gets him in the car, drives him home, and so gives him a ride home, and he's like, thank you. He's like, I take 10 steps and then I stop and I rest. So then we're on our way to the gym 2 weeks later, and we hit the corner and he's sitting there in the ditch. And I'm like, Tina, is that the guy you're talking about? Again, 2 bags from Dollar General. I'm like, turn around, texting my training partners, I'm going to be late coming to the gym. We got to do something. Dropped him off at the house. I was like, look, bro, if you ever need a ride, if you ever need anything, here's my card. Take Tina's number. And so it's this bonding relationship that you have with somebody. Because, hey, people don't understand, from the age of 12 or 13, I was homeless. I lived in 4 different families in high school. My mom was proud of that she's a recovering addict, but my mom was a drug addict for many, many years. So I was homeless and on my own all my high school career with not even anybody knowing it. So understanding the homelessness and the emptiness that I felt, and the dude's not even homeless. He has a home, but don't have any running water, has electricity and power. And it's one of those things where I always tell people if I ever have the opportunity to pay it forward, I am. So in this time of the year, it's where, it's like there are so many people, George, in my life that has helped me get to where I'm at right now. Because statistically speaking, I am not supposed to be where I'm at. I grew up in South Central Los Angeles, Compton. My mom ended up moving me from Compton. My 6th grade year, I was walking home from elementary school and I got stabbed in the back by somebody who thought I was in the game. So after that, my mom, even though she was on drugs and all this other stuff, moved me to San Diego, where I, had an illustrious career in high school and things like that. And again, but I was homeless because Christmas Day she disappeared because drugs is a powerful thing to people that they don't understand an addiction. And now my mom, I can probably say she's been clean and sober for about 27 years. But understanding and looking through certain people's eyes, and even people who look at me, because you drive the nice cars, you have the big house and all this other stuff. I'm like, man, do you understand what it took for me to get here? Again, that's why I talk about food when people say, oh, food and holidays and things like that. I had to have a certain kind of discipline in order to get to where I'm at right now. And if I didn't have that discipline, my ass would probably be dead or in jail right now, because statistically speaking, an African American man such as myself coming from the background is not supposed to be where I'm at today. Statistically speaking. That doesn't mean I was going to be there, because I tell kids all the time and people all the time, we have choices as human beings. You go left, you can go right. I said, right may be the right way to go, and left could be the wrong way to go, but you have choices to make. And so I just got around people who helped me make a lot of good choices when I was in high school, when I was in college, and so forth. And that's where I am today. So when you see people like Gibbs, I tell people, don't be too quick to judge somebody. And that's the cynical world that we live in today, where people just want to judge. It's just like women's bodybuilding. It's like this show that you do. They're so quick to judge versus like, what is her story? Or what is his story? How did they get here? Samson Dua, who I'm a big fan of, that dude was 3 years ago was putting up solar panels and doing hard labor 3 years ago. Now this dude just bought an unbelievable and beautiful house. The dude drives a McLaren, lives in the country now. Him and his wife couldn't even get a loan for a house up until this year. And now this dude, because of his hard work and perseverance, he's living a great life. And like, I don't know if you've seen the post where the girl who had cancer and he walked in the gym and met the girl. I think I put it on my post so people could donate to this girl in England. I mean, he's just a great dude. And when you have a person like that, it's just contagious. And like I told people, I was retired. But once I started looking at Samson's story, he inspired me laying in bed for 2 years to get my ass back up and try to do this thing again. And God is good. I tell people 10 toes down, 6 feet up every day. I'm just blessed to be able to wake up and do what I do, but I'm more blessed to be able to watch what Tina does and watch what I can do to help other people. And it's like I told people, and this is a very much great platform, George, that you put on for these women that don't take advantage of it. And that's why I get frustrated sometimes because I'm like, you don't do this for any self gratification. You do this to try to better their lives. And that's what they don't understand for all the ones that are listening out there. And again, if I can, and I always will say this, if I can train and do all the things that you heard me say that we do in a day, and come on here and fight for you, even though, my wife is a pro bodybuilder, then you should be able to come on here and fight for yourself and have a conversation about your journey, your life. Because again, what I just told people, they're like, oh, damn, like your face. I told you, like, you're like, really? Holy shit. I didn't know that about you. I'm actually writing a book right now. One of my clients is a professor at Washburn College and has written 5 or 6 books. Is that help? And now actually helping me write my book on my journey. And it's a long book because I've been through a lot of shit. I just don't talk about it. So again, with these women in this industry, I look at it as if you open up and tell your story, because it's not just about bodybuilding, it's about your journey, how you got there. Teresa Avesi is one of the greatest things. She had an eating disorder. Margaret was a big overweight person who got in unbelievable shape and was now one of the top bodybuilders in the world. Every one of these women have a story. But if you're not willing to go out there and tell your story and tell your journey, because then people may be like, aha, I get it. But if you don't tell your story and you don't tell your journey, how are anybody ever supposed to understand how you got from A to Z? You can't just get to Z. You got to start at the beginning. It's a weird thing. My mom once told me when I was getting ready for the Olympic trials in '96. She goes, "Well, why do you always have to bring up my addiction?" I said, "Mom, here's the thing. I said, I have to talk about this because people have to know how I got to where I am now. I can't jump chapters because that's not a story. The way you tell a story is from the beginning to the end." And she finally respected it and understood it. And it's the same thing when it comes to these women in bodybuilding, and this is a perfect example of, hey, how did you start? What did you do? What are you doing? And what is your end goal? But we don't get these from these girls. And we've talked about this for countless times. And again, at the end of the day, if people truly got an understanding of who these people and girls are, they, it may take light. But again, at least they would have a better understanding instead of being in the dark and it being such a niche thing or being, oh, it's gross and things like that. That's the way I look at it anyway. Sorry for being so long-winded.
That's all right, brother, because you want to share something that you've been through, and I can tell you the truth. Like, growing up, we didn't have much. We leave out the country. Sometimes we didn't have a car. We just had to walk from the nearest town. Maybe we were left out with like 6 or 7 miles. Sometimes we have to walk from town, or one time I remember I missed a school bus. I walked from home to catch a school bus. But I was looking up, some people knew me and, they gave me a ride. Like, it's good that there's people like you and Tina and anyone any people who come on here and share their stories, because this is why I do this content, because it gives me a purpose. Because, long time ago, a woman I love dearly, she's gone. And everybody else around me is got their own lives. One of my great nieces just turned 18 years old today. I remember she was a baby, just born. Now she's 18. My brother, he's a grandfather now. One of my sisters, she got diagnosed with leukemia, but she's doing well. She's doing all right, and I think she's gonna beat it. She's been through a lot, and I can tell you the truth. It's just, sometimes you see things and you see how some people suffer and gone through. And this is why I do this, to give anybody out there a voice. Just an interview, the weekend, and did another live stream yesterday. And, I enjoy talking about you people and share your stories and get people across of who you are. We hear a comment, we hear from man Raheem Hammer says, I I still have 20/20 vision. Well, brother, you want hey, us older guys, sometimes our eyes don't leave. We don't have 20/20. You might, come on, Also, this is a comment from a man, Ward Dow says, Raheem Hampton. It appears that your girl, Natalia Kovaleva, is preparing for some contest. Not sure
What
if a
show?
bodybuilding or one, but she's preparing for. Oh,
What
I
show was
wonder.
that?
I don't know. Because she's kind of, she lays low.
Hey, Raheem, do you know? Since you're the big fan.
It could be, what she doesn't. She might just try to wait. If she's prepping now, it might be New York, if not, uh, Toronto or maybe Chicago. One of the shows but I think it might be New York because she's done that show before. That's where we got qualification the last time. Here we got here to where it says Rahampton. If Big Natty decides to enter any shows in 25, good for her. Also, we have here for Raheem says awesome. And also, Ward says Raheem Hampton, the only Natalia who would be competing in the WB category, not in the WPD category. And also, it says, Raheem Hamilton, are you still infatuated in the love with Big Natty still, or have you moved on? Like I said, I think we said, he says like that, she's cool. Okay. And also, this is for War 2000, the Attack of 11 is a mystery. We are waiting for the suspense to build to see if anything happens or any announcements, but still waiting. Yeah, because I think she works with Dennis James. That's her trainer. So,
Which
or
is
she might.
hard because, like, I know Dennis, and Dennis is an unbelievable coach. I actually want to work with him, but Kansas had just been born, and he wanted me to fly out to Arizona for an extended period of time, and I just couldn't do it. But he expects a certain he expects a certain expectation of his athletes, and I don't know. Like Big Ramy was one of them for that he was training for a long time, and I don't know. I mean, you got to talk about this is a guy coming from the '90s too. So the work ethic and the era and how me, I'm always bragging about the '90s era because those guys were amazing. In the best era of our generation of bodybuilding. And I just don't know if she has what it takes. To pull off what she did in New York because by far that was her best look. But again, at the end of the day, Father Time catches up with all of us, and we're not getting any. I don't know how old she is, but nobody's getting any younger. And so it'll be interesting to see what she does. But again, you guys all know what I always said about Natalia, and not like I had a problem against her. It's consistency. You can't go from winning the New York Pro to going to the Olympia and doing all this other stuff, but then, not competing in a whole year. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, because she was invited to the Rise of Phoenix the last couple of years. The year she won her last Olympic qualification, she didn't go, and then it's just this is why I feel I keep saying this. I believe that the Rise of Phoenix should be more open. I understand it's about who's popular, whatever else like that, but it should be more opportunity for people who want to get, especially get their pro card.
Yeah.
And if you're in the sport, you have to be passionate about it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. Your heart has to be in it, and like Tina's heart's into this. And again, we understood the dynamics of her. I mean, I can imagine being Tina from a girl who was her rookie season on was placing and with when she was with Melanie, that is placing in the top five of bodybuilding. Every show that she did, she placed in the top five. To not placing at all, and again, not to point any fingers or talk shit on anybody, but that has to do with coaching because you know we are very me and Tina are very not trying to stroke ourselves by any stretch, but we're very structured and very well disciplined people because we were athletes before we got into bodybuilding. Tina played volleyball, played baseball, she ran track and basketball. I was basketball, track, football. So we already had structure and we've always been around structure. And the problem is some of these people who get into this sport, it's hard for them because if they've never had that structure and now trying to get into having that structure, it's hard to be consistent with it. On top of some people like, Quentin, who called out Matt Jensen, Samson. You love these guys because they, like Quentin said, I invested in myself. Somebody like, no offense, but Natalia, is is let's just say not truly completely invested. Like she's not, in my opinion, she's not truly invested in herself like some of these other athletes out there who have to put their best foot forward when you have help. Let's just say that. I'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
So your ambition when you don't need to have as much ambition as the next man or woman or man for that matter, it makes a big difference. It makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. We got an answer from Stefan Prey about how old is Natalia. Says that
35.
Kovaleva is 35.
Yeah.
Also, this is from Warrior. It says, K, the Jeopardy music, every time we wait for Big Natty to make a appearance at any show next year. Also, this is Raheem says, Natalia is playing 4D chess. Does you mean triple D chess, Raheem? There you go, Raheem. She says, Merry Christmas, you Raheem. I'm like I said, I'm not a be all, but she's just I'm I'm just on the fence on her a bit. I think
Is that
if she
her?
work, yeah, it's her. If she improves on her conditioning, she does have some size. It's just that she has to really improve on her conditioning.
Yes. And like I said, when she came into New York, I was, when she won in New York that year, I was pleasantly surprised, But again, there just hasn't been any consistency, to stand up against the top 5 girls in the world, which even everybody have their own opinion about her being gifted that 5th uh, place the one year when she was at the Olympia. It's just it'll be interesting to see what she does, and how far she goes this year. And again, I'm not talking shit on her. Again, as all competitors, as myself, as Tina, as anybody, we just you have to have a consistency in what you're doing, and then people start believing in you. Like I just think Samson Dua is doing the goddamn Arnold. How many times have we seen the Olympia champion do the Arnold after winning Olympia? None. Zero. How many times have you seen it? You don't see it.
Rarely.
And he's doing it. And Sam, and I don't, I ain't mad at him because at the end of the day, make your bread, be competitive, put your, and it's not his Olympia title. It's the Arnold, and I think it's like, and again, he placed second in both the Arnold Europe and the Arnold Classic to who? Hade, who's not doing the Arnold. So why not? I mean, probably to him, he's taking that shit personal, saying, it's like the Triple Crown. How many times do we see the Triple Crown in horse racing, Triple Crown in this, Triple Crown in that? I mean, hell, he wants to be the, undisputed fucking bodybuilding champion, kind of like Andrea was when she was. Well, I mean, think about it. When she was winning the world championships and she was winning Olympia, that's like kind of cool if you ask me. I'm the world champion, which I mean, if you're the world champion and you're the Olympian champion, which makes you the best in the world too, what would we call that?
It's like when I was competing doing both the Olympia and Miss International. It's mostly try to get a little check because you got to think about $25,000 wasn't much.
No.
Back then. You got to jump on do another show, and that's another 50. That's actually another $25,000, $50,000. And yeah, they already put out the list for the Arnold Classic, and we noticed not just Samson. We have here the former champ, Derek Lungford, is also there. We have here is Brandon Curry and some other guys, and we have Bodak. He's also.
And again, when you look at this, you look at it from the standpoint of you look at it from the standpoint of like Derek, he lost his title, and what do guys go back and do? Because remember, and think about it, George. Let's not be oblivious to what's going on. Arnold has put up $1 million $1 million, the highest purse in Arnold history ever. I'd do that shit too. If I was in shape, I seen Samson, I follow him I would do that shit too if I had the opportunity. If I was in his situation, a million plus a million is 2 million versus just 1 million. You know what I'm saying? So Arnold, remember he announced it last year. The Arnold Classic is going to be a $1 million purse, $1 million, and that's why the Olympia had to step up.
Because I thought it was $500,000.
Are you sure? I swear it was $1 million.
I thought it was because remember he raised it up to 3,000 last year for this year, and then he supposed to making it five. If it's $1 million, we'll check. We'll find out.
Well, and here's the thing: $500,000, $1 million. I'm in. If I, again, when I was second, when I was, and I love Samson because I love Samson because the dude understands from the standpoint, get it while it's good, get it while it's hot. If I can win $1 million at the Olympia and then go back because I was a close call between him and Hade in the Arnold Classic and the Arnold Europe, and go back and do both of those shows and win both of those shows, why not? Then he'll take the time off, and get ready for the defend his Olympia title, which that guy is so genetically blessed and so gifted in his work ethic. I mean, come on. I mean, here's the thing I look at it, George, is look at it this way. I can be on a roof putting up goddamn solar panels, or I can get paid to work out. What option would you take?
I'll take option number 2.
The dude got heated floors in his house now. He's about to open up his own gym. So he's understanding the opportunities, and I wouldn't say opportunities, the blessings that he's been handed to, and him and guess what? And the great thing is they keep it in the family because guess who's his coach?
His wife.
Exactly. So you keep all the money in the family. I don't know what his contract is with Hostel and Celsius and Freedom, and all these other sponsors that he has. But the dude's just a likable person, and he's put this health, like I said, the one thing that when we talk about these girls is they just don't put themselves out there. And I don't know why. If I'm gonna, like Raheem, this will be something that Raheem would say. If I'm going to follow a business model, I am going to follow that business model because clearly that guy is doing something right. Derek, I never seen anything on Derek. I never seen him, maybe because I don't follow him. I never seen anything on Hade, Koopa. But at the end of the day, this guy understands how to market himself and how to get people to like him. And he's just like you said, think about last year when he did the shows, when he said, everybody's like, well, why are you doing all these shows? He says, because the fans in Europe don't get to see me. So because they don't get to see me, whether I win, lose, or draw, I'm going to do the show so they get to see me because they can't travel that far or they can't afford it. So all the fans in the Czech Republic show and the Arnold Europe show, and what did Tyler say? Remember Tyler said about that show last year, one of the most amazing shows that he has ever been to, and he can't wait for them to host that show again this year. And part of that is because of Samson. Part of that is because of the athletes in the show. But a big part of that is because of Samson. And you got guys like Andrew Drack, who's from there, and some other guys. So it's going to be very interesting this next 2025 season to see what happens. But I appreciate guys who don't sit on their ass and just wait for the Olympia and put their it's like Bill Self, we have one of the best basketball teams in the country here, and he says, I want to play against the best so I know by time March Madness came what we are preparing ourselves for to win another national championship. And I think that's the kind of the motto that Samson's the kind of motto he's going by. Don't quote me on that, but that's what it looks like to me anyway.
Yeah, kind of like an old Ric Flair saying, to beat a man, you got to beat the man. Here we got a comment from man Raheem. It says, Keith Williams, she's playing mind games with you. we
I don't follow her, so yeah,
we got a rebuttal from Ward says Raheem Hamilton. I think she's playing the longest, boring, dragging game ever. As her ass is playing golf, I feel like. And Raheem says, where is you need a new computer. I'm thinking about getting when this one started to act up. Yeah, here he goes. He says, Keith Windemy, or how he say it.
Smart ass.
Yeah, he's a smart ass. And also, this is from, he says, Natalia is now watching on Switch Classic videos to get her ready for 2025. She'll bring big package. You can only wish. And also, this is
Put your
from
money where your
Warriors.
mouth is, Raheem.
Hampton, she's like a damn magician. Is that it? That's what I said. And also he says, Raheem Hampton, how the hell you know what she's doing? You got some high frequency tracker on her. You might well. And said, and he says also, this is one more for Warriors. Um, he says, Raheem Hampton, you are all talk and Natalia is no action.
Facts.
First, yeah.
Hey, you can be you know how like when you go on rap concerts and they have like the hype man, he's like, everybody put your hands up, put your hands up. That's Raheem with Natalia. He's their hype guy. Everybody put your hands up, put your hands up. Everybody has to have one. Hey, you can be her do boy. You can be her do boy, Raheem. We understand, dog. I ain't mad at you.
Like what was that quote says? Every hero needs a good hype man.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
yeah, here for Warriors says Raheem Hamilton. You only 4D anything is the chest that's hanging in front of her upper body. She ain't playing no damn chess. So that's what mispronounces this. Yes, chess. But yeah, I wish one thing. I wish that women bodybuilding had that same opportunity, like guys like Dua and Lungford, and all those other guys, because this is where because most of this dealing with people don't want to see women. Like Andrea is probably one of the few women who really gets a push. I wish she gets a bigger push.
Yes.
People like Angela Yo. I follow Angela.
Stop.
She has a great personality. She should have a push. And what they wish promoters would do is give a chance. If you can, like you saw Pittsburgh Pro, they're going to be adding men's bodybuilding to their show for that, because they're going to have that new expo now, and they're going to put up $200,000, and then $50,000 for bikini. Have physique, but add women's bodybuilding. And I know we talking. Somebody says if they didn't have it added now, there's no point even prepping if they don't have it, because most ladies is going to be probably, like I know Chelsea Dion mentioned she's going to be doing the Triple O Dynasty, and she's going to do New York after that. And also another lady who I interviewed a while back, Tina Flex from South Africa. She's going to make her American debut also at Triple O. And I would say if some promoters, there's enough time where you can add another division to your show, because you got to give these ladies the opportunity to prove themselves, and there is a fan base for it. There are people who love to come to these shows. I'm really planning on going to my first show. When I saw that they will add Texas Pro, I said, you know what? Oh, I won't mind going to Texas, but it'd be reason for me to go to Atlanta because I stay with my niece, because I stay with her, say because of the hotel. She can take me home, bring me back, because you don't have to pay a train or a bus. Like I said, this is for me. Next year is going to be something I want to do, and I hope things that align right for me that I can be able to do it.
Well, again, at the end of the day, it's just like you said before, and it's like beating your head against the wall. And Raheem, and this is a quote from Raheem: "You have to make yourself marketable, and if you're not making yourself marketable, especially women, if it's hard enough for us as guys, so I can't imagine what it is for women." So if I'm a woman, Andrea was like probably only one of the only people I've seen like Mutant sponsors her, and she has a ton of sponsors, but you don't see much on her. I mean, Wings of Strength has this platform, but again, not everybody gets to see the Wings of Strength platform. Not you have to go on social media to mostly see it, or if they do an announcement on social media, that's the only way you get to see these things. Whether it's getting, so it's one of those things. I feel that that the IFBB and Wings of Strength, because they have the production for it. They have the production. Wings and Strength has the production for it. Says, okay, you back in the day when they first brought it back, they were bringing girls to sponsor them level 1, level 2, level 3. Okay, we're gonna bring you in the studio. We're gonna do these interviews with you guys. We're gonna, the kind of what they did like with Andrea and Angela Yo and even Ashley this year, working out. How much could they lift and all this other stuff. But again, it's just like Raheem would say, you got to turn to the major networks because, and for them to get a better understanding, because we live in a world. Think about it. What's coming up right now? New Year's, right? What does everybody have for New Year's? Resolution. And what's that resolution? To get in better shape. So what better opportunity for people to understand? It's not even about women's bodybuilding. It's more, it's about, I always tell people, for me, the gym now is, is a fountain of youth. It's a lifestyle change. It keeps me young because I can sit here and wilt away, or I can do something about it. So and everybody, that's why they got those Ozempics. That's why you got all this shit. That's why you got the testosterone commercials. You got all this stuff. If you look at half the commercials that we see on TV, it's about wellness and health. So and the gym is a big part of that. So at the end of the day, these girls, in my opinion, need to market themselves better. The IFBB needs to market them better. The NPC is amateur, so that has nothing to do with it. But when it comes down to how do you create more hype for these promoters to even want to take interest in, hey, well, maybe we should do this. I'll be interesting to see why Texas decided to bring it to their show, and then, again, maybe at the end of the day, the IFBB has to say, because we all know there's sanction fees involved in this thing. Remember, Chris Mims just told me at the Legion show, well, somebody gives me $20,000. So you don't think for 1 second that these other promoters are thinking the same thing? Okay, we got bikini, we got wellness, we got men's physique, we got classic physique, but we don't have women's bodybuilding because that's another fee that we got to pay. Well, they already know in those, and I just talked to a amateur physique, classic physique guy today and told him the same thing. I go, classic physique, men's physique, women's bikini, and men's physique are the dominant sports in our industry right now. Because if we looked at it statistically speaking, and where the numbers are as far as competitors, amateur and pro-wise, there's way more of those guys than there are bodybuilders, men or women, for that matter. And you can even throw figure in there as well. There's way more of those competitors than there are. I was just at a show, and the show was 80% figure, classic physique, physique, bikini, and wellness. 80%, if not more. So they're not stupid. Nationals is this weekend, and I'll be interested to go back and listen. Says how many actual bikini competitors, wellness, classic physique, and physique competitors were there versus bodybuilding? And hands down, it wouldn't even be close.
Well, this is what happened at the Nationals. There were only 6 women for women's bodybuilding, and they put it into all one category. And the lady who won, she is a natural physique competitor. She won in her class in physique, but she won the overall and the women's bodybuilding title, a pro card, at that show. So this year is only one women's bodybuilder that come out as a pro, while you have at least 5 new pros in women's physique, and at least a bunch of new pros in wellness, figure, and the other divisions.
Well, because understand, remember, in bikini, wellness, and all the other categories, I think at Nationals, it's the top 2. Because remember, I had this conversation with George Dave Palumbo a long time ago when I was 3-time runner-up at USA's before the 4th shot when I got my pro card. Then they changed the rule that year to the top 2 in each class get their pro card. Maybe that's not for women's bodybuilding because the numbers are not there, but for every other class, the top 2 in each class get a pro card. Think about it. That's crazy.
Yeah,
so the numbers are going to dwindle at USA's and Nationals and Junior Nationals and GUSA's because there's not a lot of women bodybuilders that are competing.
Yeah, that's the thing. And some women just try to crossover. So they might say, what, if I can do women's bodybuilding, maybe I can get my pro card here just in case I don't get it over here in physique. Here we got a comment from a man, Warrior says, Andre Shaw is the San Antonio Spurs version of bodybuilding, weeding, and that's it. Hey, man, hey, watch him out. So, yeah. And also, this is for Warrior says, hey, Keith, Raheem can hype Natalia all he want, but there's going to be crickets in the audience.
Facts. It's like playing. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Flavor, play.
Yeah,
You
he was
know,
on.
Raheem's a New York boy, so he understands.
Yeah, this is from Hamilton. He says, Mikey Hamilton, lame, using a ridiculous football analogy to describe Natalia Kovova, inconsistent ass. Also, he says, say Warrior 2000. I never used any football analogy. He says this. He says, just saw team. You mentioned my bad. You used a basketball analogy. Regardless, it's astonishing. It's just crazy. Yeah, folks. I love it. These two. Wednesday, we got to put y'all two in a ring.
Yeah,
y'all just
one day we
it
got to
out.
get both of them on the show and just.
Yeah, Warrior, you brother, you on here and you support my channel. I appreciate you coming on. Same thing with you, Raheem. I appreciate you coming on. And if you, both of you, if any of you, like especially Warrior, Raheem's been on here a few times. Warrior, you have the courage. You don't have to show your face. You can just put your symbol. You can hear your voice, get your thoughts. Yeah, but like I said again, I'm hoping for me as a fan, as a content maker, especially on women's bodybuilding, I hope things will be better next year. I hope the list doesn't change because remember, 1 year is going to have a show in Atlanta besides the Atlanta show. That show was dropped. I mean, 1 year is going to have a bodybuilding show in Texas. That show was dropped. I think someone told me that they
have women's bodybuilding in Atlanta, correct, George?
Atlanta
still has women's bodybuilding.
Atlanta has a show. There was supposed to be another show in Atlanta also, but I think that show was dropped. It was supposed to be before this year, but then they dropped it when we did the list.
Okay.
And then I'm hearing some noises that possibly that the Titan show might not come back next year.
Huh.
So we have here a guest just pop in. My man KL the Wanderer. Shout out, brother. How you doing?
What's going on?
So what you asked for Santa Claus was Christmas, brother?
I don't believe in that Christmas stuff.
Well, I kind of like you.
Should have asked me that like when I was 40 years ago.
Well, me, I would say this. I don't have a Christmas tree up in my house because truthfully, it's just my mom was around. When she was around, we put the tree out, put decoration stuff like that because she loved Christmas. She loved, especially when we were kids, we get our presents. And she worked hard to get those little things. I mean, 1 year I had one little inflatable robots on the little thing with remote control. I was so distracted by my brother's gifts that the robot ran into the stove in the middle of our house and he popped. So, but like I said, it's not the same for me. I know I might go to my sister's house and she might have something to eat. I might eat there, and other than that, it's not really same with my mom around here.
Yeah, I feel you. I've never been a big fan of Christmas, but when you got kids, you have no choice.
Yeah, like, that's the best part. Like if you have like family, like kids, or you celebrating it with your relatives, it's cool. You know, like Christmas dinners and all that stuff. But it's like if you by yourself, it's like it's just another day, man.
Yeah.
So, brother came in a little bit late because we're about to wait out. So, I saw you got an interview coming up today.
Yeah, like 8:00. Trying to get ready, but I was on a store run, so that's why I came late.
That's all right.
Who are you interviewing?
Well, I forgot her name. Hold on, let me see.
That is not good, KL.
I'm sorry, man.
Don't say it on the air. Say, let me go back.
Yeah. It's what's her name? Hold on.
You're not wearing a robe, right?
Dariana, click on. Don't start. Don't start. Dariana, click on.
You can type her.
Now, what is she competing?
I think she competed in the Battle of the Texas Pro. I think she's a bodybuilder, like bodybuilding competition division. Excuse me.
Let me, let
Well, I could
me
show y'all
see.
a picture.
Oh, give me a second.
I
Go
could
ahead.
show
Post the
you guys.
pictures.
Hold on.
Go ahead. We're here. Show it.
My aim ain't good. Yeah, you see her, right?
Oh, wow, she looks pretty
Oh,
good.
got good
Yeah.
sized quads. She might, maybe consider, doing,
Where's she
wellness.
from?
Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
This.
So is she going to do the Texas Pro this year?
Um, I I have no idea, man.
I think she's an
Yeah, she,
amateur, so she's not.
yeah,
Oh,
she's an amateur.
okay.
So she's
This is
not
her
pro
first show.
qualified yet.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
this is
technically,
her first show.
so Battle Texas was her debut as a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of a bit mesmerized how she looked. That's why I wanted to talk to her.
See, again, when you reach out, educate yourself a little bit about some of these women
Look,
before,
man.
because you don't want to have
No,
a little scar.
I mean, I know that she didn't really have too much. I know she bakes and she seems like she's in Texas. She's a conservative or something like that. You know, yeah, like I'm gonna ask some questions like what she do outside of bodybuilding and you know, so it's not like I was looking at her stuff. I mean, most of her stuff is not like on bodybuilding. It's mostly conservative
So what
things.
made you pick her? Like when you pick these, I mean, how what makes you reach out to certain people to do interviews with?
I mean, how they look sometimes. Sometimes I just like give an invitation. Like if I see them like do bikini or OCB, I'll give like a I'll ask them like, "Hi, how you doing? I would like to chat with you on my live stream. Um, you could talk about your fitness and journey, stuff, yada yada yada. You
Yeah.
know, like their background, like what
Yeah.
they did, if they competed and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes I do look at the look, like if I like their look, just or they have like a interest that I have. Like this lady that I'm gonna talk to tomorrow. She do like she's into comic books and video games and all that stuff. It's something that I probably can relate to her about, and she also is like a fitness trainer and she competed. I don't know how many, I don't know how long she competed, but she was a competitor. You know, sometimes I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's not always easy because it's like you try to find something that you can talk with them about. Because I'm not like a schmo like that, like in a sense of like I know like the competitions and who what place they're on or like I just know like the basic stuff like how often do you work out or like I could talk about nutrition things with them or a little bit of dieting and stuff like that,
Well,
so
maybe before you go on, you need to George, because like I said, I know you're new to this game, but George is very good at it, and asking the
yeah, I
questions
know.
because how, like we were just talking about earlier before you came on, like how did you get into this? What's your fitness journey? What's your end game? What do you do outside of this? Because people like when they look at us as competitors, like this must be all they do. I go, no. I try to get in the gym for about an hour and a half a day, get my shit done because I got the rest of the world to deal with besides that. People think because we look this way, we're in the gym all day. I don't want to be in the gym all day for one, because I want to be in and out, get an efficient workout in and all this other stuff. And what's her background? Does she have a family? Does she have a boyfriend? Does he support her? I mean, there's so many things that comes to this sport, which would make it more like if another person seen the interview with you, like when they see it with George, it's like you're asking true, authentic questions, so they just don't think that we are smokers, that we actually do know what we're talking about. We do actually do have a real interest in their lives outside of bodybuilding. And that's what used to drive me nuts at the world championships And it was one year, and I understand I'm biased, where they used to do the videos. Remember, they used to do the videos before the girls came out, and there was some lame ass videos to that one. Like, I already fucking know you work out. I already know that, But there was a girl I thought, had a great one. Her and her husband were changing the baby's diaper. Tina was on the stair climber, and Keaton's trying to climb up. She's holding him while she's doing stair climbing. Those are stories. But they pick these girls that, okay, I know you work out. I know that you're a trainer. That's great. But in the real world, how do you balance all that out? Remember, George, we were talking about the one girl from Arizona who did the world championships, and she had to take off this year because financially it just wasn't, in the cards for her to do it. So she had to take a step back because that's real world shit. As much as we all want to do this, we all know it's a poor man's sport, and we all know it's a hell of a financial responsibility to do it, and not everybody can afford to do it. And that in the end game, there's a small percentage of the people actually making money doing this shit. So it's not a very big expense. So if it's like this for guys, it's probably this for women. So at the end of the day, it's an investment. So you have to understand that, it's not just about going. I always try to tell these women, it's not about going to the gym. It's like George talking about Tina earlier, helping a Kim's not even homeless, just helping a guy who's, down on his luck, and things like that, and so, and there should be more of that in the world. And I always tell people who all sit here and try to talk shit about Tina, I go, how many of you guys would have picked a guy up on the corner walking home and took his ass home? How many of you guys would have brought that person to your house as she's washing his clothes in my washing machine right now, our washing machine right now, and let him sit in your bathtub and soak and take a bath? That's a story. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear the real side, not you fucking working out, not you. It's like when Angela was like, we never knew she was a baker. How awesome is that? That's that's the authentic side of what these people need to understand, that these girls are just not, and us guys out there is just not meatheads. We do other things besides being in the damn gym all day, because there's real life problems and real world problems that other people have that we can help with. And people like, like I told Tina, like next year I'm doing the Salvation Army ring the bell thing. I used to do it all the time in Minnesota, freeze my ass off. But next year, me and my son will go out there and get the Salvation Army bell and ring the bell, because Salvation Army, I don't know how many toys they brought to me when I was poor and little, how much food, how many camps they sent me to. So it's my job to pay it forward. And so that's my goal for next year, is to ring the bell for Salvation Army.
Like I said, after I did my interview, before I do my interviews, I always ask the ladies, like, I can't do nothing financially, but what I do is I make a little care package. And I sent one because Keith him and Tina had one before.
Yes.
I sent one just a month ago to a young lady named Paige. She went through something this year. She had a stroke. She competed last year, and she's doing all right now. And she sent me a thing, said, "You sent me things. Thank you for sending me that." Little things we do that really can really affect somebody's life. Right now, I got to fix a package, and I'm probably going to send it off to a lady because her birthday is going to be next month. So I said, let me just go ahead, because I'll just skip over a person on the list and just send it to her as a birthday gift. She can really use it. I know another lady, she's planning on competing also at Masters. And I'm saying, you know what? I know her gym's at, because the lady I did interview with also works out with her. And I said, well, I'll send this to a gym, so when she gets ready for a trip, she has some things she can take with her, because you never know, you might need something, you may not get it that time. It might save you a few bucks. Here we got from Warrior 2000 says, oh, I love her pigtails hairstyle. Also, this is from Warrior, says she is a Republican conservative type girl. And he says, the bundles I'm feeling, that style is different. And also he says she sounds like a fun, interesting person, KLA. You would need to introduce her on George's channel so we can meet her. Well, you don't have to do it. You can go if you want to meet her. He said again, the interview is going to be 8:00. So if you want to see it, all you got to do is, I'm going to do this. I'm going to leave the link in the comment section. So if you want to check out the interview and support KLA, he's really doing some good work. He just, he's keeping busy, because I saw he did interview last, was it yesterday? You got this one coming up, another coming up. He's getting his game. I'm a bit jealous I'm gonna be like I said.
You jealous?
I hate her.
All them people that you do, all them people that you be talking to.
But yeah. 'Cause sometimes what, brother, you talk to women that I don't get a chance to talk to, and and I do. Like I said, I admire what you're doing. But sometimes, there's that. It's like
But
I can be a bit of a hater.
know how to interact. You know how to interact a little bit more, a bit more than me. On certain things. It's still always like a struggle. It's like I just have to always find like with what to say and all that stuff, and but I'm trying. So
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. You keep trying. I saw the cover on it. She's standing with Brittany Parrish, cool
yeah,
lady. I
yeah,
just
yeah,
yeah, I think Brittany might be competing next year because
yeah.
she remember she had some little medical issues that hit her hard and her family moved and yada 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 and yada that. But she's looks like she's doing a little better. But this is from my man where it says, but George, it sounds like you would have fun interviewing her. I might, and maybe I reach out to her, I don't mind taking scraps every now and then. So,
Yeah, if
also,
you want to.
this is from I'm trying to get used to the name you use, KLA. This is KA Mosa. It sounds
Mansa
like
Musa.
Musa converted to the Islam religion. So he has
I
he
just
likes
named
me.
that. I don't usually like that. That was like years ago. I was trying to like when I had this channel. I just kind of named it that. So
Mhm.
Awesome.
So anyway, yeah. So anyway, gentlemen, next Monday we're not gonna have a podcast, so because it's that comes the week of Christmas, so we're gonna have a little Christmas break. So we come back on. We're think about something we can talk about, because year's winding down. Still waiting on some of the rest of the list. Maybe by next year get the full list out. But I would say like this: people out there, if you follow this sport, truly reach out and support these ladies and men in bodybuilding. Um, you know, Sometimes you can make a friend because doing this content, I've made friends. Like, was that long ago? It's like almost 3, 4 years ago when I got to do an interview with Keith and Tina, and we're still in contact. Some ladies who I've done interviews with, we're still in contact with, and KL, with him, he came on one of my live streams, and we still in contact, and we're still talking. One of these days, I got to meet my brothers here. I mean, I might have to go to Kansas. I might have to go to New York. I don't know about New York.
I told you
uh,
when you picked the
I
show,
don't.
we'll
I don't.
bring
I'm
you
not
to the
mad at you.
show.
Don't worry about it. If you stop by, you know, holla at me. Either
I'll
one of
holler.
you.
Well, I got family in New Jersey. My aunt and my father lived up there. I've been thinking about. I haven't been to my father's. I can go. My mother and my brother and my sister are buried like just 2, 3, 4 miles from where I live,
Mhm.
and I can go see them anytime I want. I do that every so often. I don't have a car right now, but not as much as I used to. But my father, even though we were not close, he was my daddy. And I was kind of disappointed I didn't go to his funeral because I was working the time, just started a new job. I couldn't afford to travel, and I regretted that, not able to go. And or she always used to call me, Joe Hines. That was my great uncle. I look like him, and I remember the last time I saw her, it was a year or so ago, and I would love to go up there and just put flowers and just give them a little prayer and just see some of my cousins I haven't seen in a long time. And like I said, like I said, New Jersey, so I might check out New York. Maybe go to New York Pro. Maybe that be my goal for next year, or actually
Okay.
year after next. So we
Okay.
meet up. We get some girls. Have
Yeah.
some fun. You can watch me work my style.
Okay.
You can sit
All
in the
right.
corner around with the girls.
All right, player.
Yeah. You know, but my man Keith here, I really appreciate him coming on. He's talking about something that he's doesn't really affect him because he's a bodybuilder. His division is going strong, but he takes the time to share his thoughts, his experience, his education, and understand the stuff he's go through. I appreciate that. I truly do.
Oh, we do.
Maybe again, he says they're planning on doing two shows, Chicago and Tampa. Let's Tina gets an invite to the Rising Phoenix. She may not do Tampa. He offered to fly me out. I, but you know what?
Hey, if you want to take a train, we've taken trains before. I love trains actually. We used to take a train from here to Colorado to visit Tina's grandmother when she was still alive, and I loved it. It was relaxing. Just climb a chair back and just sit there and get on my iPad, listen to some music, read an audio book, and things like that. And Tina, remember George, before she met me, she hated flying, so she was like you. So when we first met, it was one of those things. I said, "Hey, it was my first, well, one of my first, well, it was my second season." And I'm like, I'm gonna fly you to New York. And it's one of those things. She's like, yeah, right. You want these guys are gonna sit here and tell me you're gonna fly me someplace. My travel agent called her, and I had no idea. Her parents said to me, she must like you because she doesn't fly anywhere. And I was like, really? And so knowing that, and she had like that, she told you guys the story. She was hugged up on two guys on the plane flying her because she was an absolute nervous wreck. She's gotten a lot better, but she was like you, George. She hated flying. When you ask Tina next time we're on the air, because she's with Kansas right now training, she hates flying. I mean, like I would hold her hand, it was just like a puddle of sweat. It was the craziest shit ever, But she's gotten a lot better now. She gets on the plane and falls asleep like I do, but
Did she get
we'll get
panic
you there, bro.
attacks?
Hey,
Did,
it's like planes, trains, and automobiles. You pick your poison.
did she get did she get like panic attacks and all that stuff?
Well, she wasn't necessarily get panic attack. She sweats a lot. Let's just say
Oh,
that. So and I don't know what the anxiety of it was. I think that had a bad experience flying out of Hawaii, and the plane had some goofy stuff happen, and they had to make an emergency landing. But she's a lot better now
no.
because we travel all over every place now. So it's one of those things where I took pilot lessons. She won't go on a private plane with me because I can fly like the little plane. She will not get on that plane, but she'll get on a commercial plane. I'm like, babe, we can just fly there. She's like, nope, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Like I said, brother, I would take you up on it because you know what? I got to get myself out there in the world. It's not like I said again. I don't have the kids to worry about. Mom's gone. Everybody's got their lives. And I really, like I said, I really want to, reach out. I want to reach out to the people, especially the women I do this content about. I was talking to one lady. She's going to be doing Atlanta Pro, and I said, you know what? I'm hoping things do right. I'm planning to go to that show and we get to meet and talk and it was a great experience for me when I went to Savannah. I met people like Donna Salib and Shauna Boswell. I got to meet Irene Anderson, Alina, and it was a great opportunity for me. Like I said, this is something I most definitely need to do, especially as a content maker. And just
And a lot of those women that you're talking about are very personable people. So if you know, it's one thing to reach out to somebody, I guess, like, hey, would you come on my show? Because they're like, when you go to these shows, there's a lot of sketchy ass dudes there, a lot of sketchy dudes,
What you
and
mean
then there's some
sketchy?
real.
Like on some real character stuff? Like they trying to rap to these women or something
Well,
like
I
that?
wouldn't say rap to them, but they're just like when Tina did the Titan, this guy was like, will you do this pose? I mean, it's just like invasive stuff. Instead of like, hey, can I take a picture with you? Can you do a front double bicep? Some of these guys just get creepy, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm like, when you first meet in person, break the ice by, hey, can I get a picture with you? Maybe can I get an autograph? But there's so many guys that run around with cameras trying to act like they're photographers and this that, and the other. And I think this has made these girls very uh, standoffish to a certain degree about dealing with certain. Even the girl from Arizona, George, who I'm an IFBB pro, and I just want to say my buddy has a show. We'd love to have you on. Never heard from her, and I'm at the end of the day, no offense and all, I can give a shit less. I'm just again, this is for the content for them as women and empowering women, but they got to empower themselves before you guys can ever empower them. And I think that's a message that I've stood by since I came on here with you, George, and I will stand by it to the day I die. Empower yourself before anybody else can empower you. And if you can't do that, and it's not about being in the gym, high in the gym, it's about getting yourself out there, talking to people and letting people know, my life is not just the gym. I have a 9 to 5 job, I have a kid, or I do this or I do that. so people have a truly understanding of who these people are, and they just don't do that. And I think that's why people really don't have a true understanding of what their sport is actually all about.
Yeah, because I know a while back with the sketchy thing. I remember a couple ladies I was really cool with. They were at, it was the Atlanta Pro a couple of years ago. This guy approached them, and what he did was touching their ads. They were nice about it, but they told me, "said George, this guy's weird. I don't know why he did that." I
Yeah,
mean,
Mm.
that I think Tina was there at that show. I think maybe she was working the booth. You
yeah.
know, yeah. We got here
But that's
comment from
extreme, man.
yeah. So Diana trained by Brittany Parrish. I don't know. She,
Tune
maybe
in,
me.
tune in, tune into the interview if you wanna check it out.
So you want to check it out, Warrior? Like I said, here's a video gonna be 8 o'clock. That's another hour and a half away from now. Check it out. Support his content. You know, really, he puts out some good stuff. As long as he's wearing fully clothed.
You're
That's not fair,
bro,
man. That
bro,
ain't
you're
fair,
gonna
man.
live that down. We love you. You
No,
have to live
like
that.
I told you, I
That's
built this
not
shit.
that's
Built
not
that
fair,
shit.
man.
And
Y'all,
no
y'all ain't
man
right,
like you.
man. That
You don't know
ain't fair.
act right. You're gonna get
She
punked
had a
about this.
problem with it. She
That's
just
her.
was
No,
like
no,
she knew
that's not her.
I slept. She knew I slept. I wasn't trying to be creepy. I think when it was one point, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of feeling a little relaxed, and I was gonna lay down, and so she had like some face. I was like, let me get up because I don't think she, I don't want her to think I'm doing some
You know
creepy
what
stuff.
I'm saying? Oh,
But she knew that I got up, and so because I think before I had on the robe, I was sleeping and then I got up earlier. It was like 6 o'clock or something like that, and I was like, this is too early, man. Let me just like go back. Let me just get a little sleep a little bit and then get up. But then it was like 8 o'clock or something, and it's like it's like further, her time is later. So, I don't know. I just wasn't prepared and she see me with the
Stop.
robe. She ain't really like she wasn't creeped out. It wasn't like
As as I
she
often
knew that
say,
I was
as I often say, be aware it surrounds you at all times. You're
like, stop with the
masquerading.
Batman stuff, please.
Your
Lord have
chauffeur for
mercy.
Achilles belong.
Jesus Christ, man.
We got a
It was an
comment.
accident. It
We
was
got a
an
comment.
accident.
We got a
I
comment
didn't do it
from.
intentionally.
Okay. We got a comment from so Tamara Carr is the who was talking about with the guy touching. Yeah, not just Tamara. It was Leah Denny too. She was also
You
because
just touched
yeah.
Yo, that's wild. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's wild. I
So
ain't
Tamara
gonna.
was the one who told me about it. Also, this is from a man, Musa. I'm sure you will be professional, Kale. Don't worry about George teasing you. Yeah, he was teasing
Thank you.
you. So, brothers, I do appreciate the time y'all gave me here. I really appreciate your support. I support y'all and y'all whatever y'all doing. As you know, Keith are getting ready for he's going to do Masters Olympia, and that's going to be
yep,
in Tokyo.
yep.
Best of luck to him. A long way out. This is why I said they need to bring here to the states. Everybody knows there's more Masters compared to the states. Like, why?
Yeah, here's the thing I'm excited about because when I seen Hidetada and Iris at the Legion show, what they did say is like it's going to be epic and it's going to be like no Master Olympia ever. And I think from the standpoint of Hidetada competing in the Master Olympia and being the greatest shows are the guys who competed because they understand how they wanted to be treated and how they should be treated. And so and Iris is another one of those great champions and great people. And, I think they have a great connection over there. But you are right, George. I think at some point in time, you're going to have to bring it back to the States because the shit is expensive and, they don't pay for much. And so if you wanted to be what it used to be, because I think the last Master Olympia was in Florida. And it was great. It was like Dennis James, Dexter. It was a whole bunch of guys and then it kind of went away. But I mean, to be realistic, again, as we talk about this sport in its whole self, it's a poor man sport. So now you got to dump more money into. I think, like I told you guys the last time I looked at a round trip plane ticket, there was like $1,400 or something like that. You know,
Can I ask you a question? Like, is it gonna just be Westerners? Like, like competing or Asian,
Mm,
Japanese?
No, I think so. For what I understand, it's 40 and over. You have to be in the 40 and over the class to qualify for the Olympia, Master Olympia, excuse me. So you have to be 40 and over. And from the list that I've seen, there's a lot of people coming from, like you said, the Westerners that are going over there to compete. I'm excited. My son went over there to play basketball, I think, a year ago. One of his teammates is from Tokyo, and he's super excited to go back over there. He wants to actually play. If he doesn't make it to the league, he wants to play his European ball in Tokyo. So again, I guess it's a great place, but it's a mixture of both because I think they Iris and Hidetata have had great success in the shows they've been promoting over there and running over there. So I think it's going to be a great balance of both. It's either going to be a great balance of both or very lopsided one way or another. And I hope that they just, with the backing that they, from what it sounds like they're getting, that it's an epic show.
yeah.
So
And here the thing also is that, most of the master shows are here in the States.
yes,
Like other than, you have, because, like shows like the Portugal, Europa, I heard that Dennis James is going to move the Europa Championship from the UK to Germany because it was they did this one UK. It was in Spain for the last few years, but then they changed promoters. Now I think Dennis James is taking over as promoter for that show and moving to Germany. And most of the master shows are here, like Tampa,
yep,
Chicago, even the Arizona Pro, which is part of the Rising Phoenix. They have masters class.
yeah,
Their shows like the Masters Championships. Also, the Legion, they do masters.
yep,
And most of the competitors are going to be coming from here.
yes,
You do have some competitors who come from Europe and other countries to do these shows here, and they might have one there. Or like I know couple ladies who are top five, like Shauna Boswell, she was top five. Donna Salib, Evie Rains retired this year. Karen Alvarez, one of David's favorites, Susan Graham is one of the top five for women's physique. I know Hardy, he wanted his qualification back in
yep,
2023.
yep.
So
The
is he
person.
competing or he's going to take it? Because you got to think about it, he's
No, he's not
promoting.
competing. He's a promoter. Him and Iris are the promoters.
Yes, that's what I
So
say. I
Hada,
want you.
excuse me, Hida Tada and Iris are the promoters of the Master Olympia this year.
So yeah, so that's why he's not going to compete. And that's why I said again, the shows are for qualification are more here,
Yep.
and it would make more sense to have the masters here. And one thing, if Iris can do, if she can promote a show here in the States herself, because she has a name, she has a
Yeah.
brand, and that'd be great, especially with women's bodybuilding. I think people would jump onto a show if they know Iris Kyle. You may not like her, maybe that, but she has a name, a record, a history, being one of the only women in the sport of bodybuilding in general has
Yeah.
10 Olympia titles. You can say, oh, Miss Olympia, but it's 10 Olympia titles. Shouldn't matter, her sex, her gender. She has
Yeah.
10 Olympia titles. That's two more than Ronnie, two more than Lee, and most definitely two more than a couple others.
Yep.
She has 10. That's a lot of work. Here, this is from a man, a warrior says 2025 is coming in a few weeks. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. And like my man White Up said, I'm coming. I'm
Yep.
bringing hell with me. I'm
Yep.
bringing hell with me. so, brothers, I appreciate y'all. I want to wish you all a happy Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy
Appreciate you.
holidays. Thank you for coming through. Shout out to all those competitors out there. I hope y'all enjoy these holidays. Don't let it stress you too out. Enjoy this time with your family and friends, and just appreciate all the little blessings you have in the world. We have this one more for Warrior. We'll let him go. It says, Iris is cool when you talk with her. All her haters are misunderstanding her personality. She's just a driven, focused person. I would love to have her on here one of these days. I mean, reach out want to, but she has some kind of contract or something. But if it ever happens, I appreciate it because it gives the opportunity to talk to a legend like herself. So, brother, I'm gonna let you go. Another hour or so, you got your interview, and I thank you for coming by. And Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Then Merry Christmas to you. Happy New
All right.
Year. Hope the New Year serves you well.
Same with you. Same with you.
No
So,
doubt.
folks, as I said again, tomorrow, next Monday, we're not going to have Muscle Talk Monday. We're going to be suspended. We'll take because I know people are going to be busy. Yeah. So I don't want to bother them. So we'll take next Monday off. We'll be back the Monday, which will be a couple of days before New Year's. So you want to come on, join us. If you have a subject you want me to talk about, you can go to my YouTube channel. You can find my links. You can send me a post, on my IG, or post something in my community section on one of my comments and stuff like that. If you have something you really want me to talk about that really interests you, especially if it's mostly concerned about women's bodybuilding and just bodybuilding in general, let me know. Shoot your shit. So, like I say, thank my big brother, Mr. Big Keith. Thank my man here, KL, one going through. Shout outs to Warrior 2000. Shout out to Stephen Prey, who was here. Shout out to also to the time, Raheem, your girl Natalia, she got to get shit together, But folks, again, I like to thank y'all for coming here and supporting my channel and showing my content. And I do enjoy doing what I do. And I wish you all the best of luck. Whatever happens in 2025, I hope it's better than 2024. He's a Bellaway Judge Page, aka the Emperor of Talk. Like, don't subscribe. I'm out. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and God bless.